Okay, guys, so another thing in 4.1 is called this Wronskain value. And I'll go over this whole matrix setup, but this is kind of like from linear algebra. They're going to ask, is a family of functions linearly independent? Okay, so if you notice, the way you set up your matrix is that first row is just going to be the functions, right? And then the second row is the derivatives, and the third row would be your second derivative. Now, if you have four functions, you got to go up to the third derivative. I probably will only give you up to three functions anyway. Okay, if it equals 0, you know it's going to be linearly dependent. Okay, if it does not equal 0, linearly independent. So let me show you how you do this matrix and how you do the determinant. These brackets just means determinant. Okay, so let me just show you how this process is done. Okay, so when we set up our matrix, right, so you're doing, this is just a notation, right, and you write out all your functions first. It really doesn't matter the order, I'm just going in numerical order. You take your derivative, so derivative of x is 1, derivative of 1 is 0. Here you're going to get 2x, derivative of 2x is 2. Here we get 4 minus 6x, and then we get negative 6. All right. Now, once you do that, okay, the way you start to do your determinant here is just start with one of, it really doesn't matter where you start, but I would like you guys to start on that top row. Okay, so we're going to start here first, and what you basically do is then eliminate these two. So if you notice, I'm starting with the x, and then whatever's left over that's not highlighted right now, I'm going to take the determinant of that 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, let me just do some erasing, right? So that's the first one, okay? And, okay, the next one, right? So you then go here. Now, one thing about this next placement, it really goes with a negative, okay? If you go back to linear algebra, these all alternate. You go plus, minus, plus. This is a minus, this is a plus, depending on where you start with. But really, I would be only concerned about that top row. And then again, let's cancel out these two, except we want to keep that middle value there for the next thing. So it's going to be minus, always that middle one is minus x squared, and then you're doing the determinant of everything not highlighted. And I'll explain the determinant in a second. So let's erase these, right? Okay, and then the last one, you're eliminating these two, right? But we want to use this one. It's going to go back to a plus. And then you do the determinant of everything that is not highlighted. Okay. So now when you're doing a determinant, okay, determinant, you're basically just saying, okay, I'm going to multiply those two together and then subtract and multiply these two together. So almost like a cross multiplying thing there, right? So it's going to look like this. 2x times negative 6, so negative 12x, and then minus 8 minus 12x, like that. Okay? And then again, same idea. Your determinant is going to be 1 times negative 6 minus the 0 times 4x minus 2. So you got minus x squared times negative 6 minus 0. And then the last one we have, it's the same idea. You're going like that and subtracting the 2. So we would get 4x minus 3x squared. And then we would have 2 minus 0. So now let's simplify through, right? So here, if you notice, let's see. I got the x. Okay, so we get x This is negative 12x minus 8 plus 12x. This is going to be a plus 6x squared. This is going to be a plus 8x minus 6x squared. You can cancel those two out. You'll get a negative 8x plus 6x squared plus 8x minus 6x squared, and this winds up being 0. So because it's 0, right, if you go back to my rules, this would be linearly dependent. So family of functions is linearly dependent. Okay, let me show you the one that is independent. Okay, so independent. So let's say we have f sub 1 is x plus 1, f sub 2 is x, f sub 3 is x squared. Okay, so then w would be, remember, you just put your functions in that top row and just take your derivative. So derivative of 1 plus x is 1, and then you have 0. X would just be 1 and 0. X squared was 2x and then 2. Alright, so start with that first row, first column. So I have x plus 1, and then I'm doing the determinant of everything in that other square. And then minus x, and then 1, 2x, 0, 2, and then plus x squared, and it'll be 1, 1, 0, 0. Alright, so here we're going to get 1 plus x. This is going to be 2 minus 0 minus x. This is going to also be 2 minus 0 and then plus x squared, but this is 0 minus 0. So here we'll just get 2 plus 2x minus 2x plus 0. These cancel. I get 2. So because this is not equal to 0, the family of functions is linearly independent.